Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we'll be looking at Brigade Games Cartel Command 1, released for the Drug War Z game. But they're actually just pretty good for general overall modern wargaming involving the old 80s, 90s cocaine cartels. So, looking at this, we get 3 figures. This set costs $12 before shipping and handling. So we have a person with a light machine gun and ponytail, probably acting as a bodyguard. Probably have the guy that's boss because he's got a mustache and flowing hair, very similar to Pablo Escobar in design, and he's got his trademark pistole. And then we have an individual with an assault rifle and shaved head. Looks like Pablo Escobar's #1 Sicario, who I'm blanking on the name right now. But when we look at these figures right here, we'll take the top of the head as a good example. Very light mold line. But there's a little bit of flashing around the model, so a little bit of cleanup will be ready to go. So we'll go ahead, get these guys cleaned up and on the base, and see what they look like. I have my miniatures cleaned up and on the table here. So this is one of my grassline tiles that I made. Now what I want to do here is I want to compare them to other 28mm modern lines. So we know that Brigade Games, this is going to be 28mm with thicker weapons. Something that works perfectly with that is Studio Miniatures. So we'll get Hannibal Smith, former governor. These are the Studio Miniature lines here. So you can see they fit in perfectly. The bases they come with are a bit bigger, but you can just ignore that. Something else that also works very well is get some of the stuff from, you've got a North Star 28mm, also fits in very well design-wise. And Funky Skull Games, some of their figures, so the thicker 28mm lines. Now something else I like to use is some Spectre operations. So we have Baba Yaga, and just a close protection agent. And then we have 28mm Anvil Industry, which comes in a thicker multi-part kit. So these guys, the Anvil Industry works pretty well, just because they're more heroic 28mm. The Anvil Industry guys have thinner weapons and thinner body types across some of the ranges. Less on the Baba Yaga, more on the close protection agent. Now I've put the Cartel Command on a couple of my tiles here. I just want to show off. So I base a lot of my terrain around MCP because I like the little plastic buildings. And what you can see here is that they just don't work for the 40mm scale. They also work at other scales, especially because of the 3-inch rise. But you can see I have a car here I brought from a grocery store for $5. MCP car, street light, trash can. So you can see these guys blend in. Cars, these die-cast cars you get from grocery stores and CVS's and whatnot, they're a touch big, but they're really cheap. Cheaper than that car. So these guys look like they'll fit on the board. And at $12, and since they fit into my existing collection, if you play modern wargaming set anywhere in South or North America, particularly if it's set in the 80s or 90s, these are a great buy at $12 or $4 a piece. Well, thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs. We'll see you next time.